So my initial, well, hey, people are different. That's interesting. Can we learn more about that? Actually started working with expats. So doing cultural differences and doing cross-cultural trainings and talking to other couples saying, hey, I've moved these 5 times and here are the pitfalls that I fell into. Let me save you that time, learn from my mistakes kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then I came to the point of, what, maybe culture doesn't explain everything. And so I was introduced to personality type back at uni when I was in Scotland, and I revisited it and I said, what, maybe these 2 concepts together might be interesting as well. And so I became a Myers-Briggs. I became certified first, and then I got the master practitioner a couple of years after that. And I did some of my own research as well into how our cultural upbringing modifies the expression of our type preferences. Yeah, I like to going through all the different, walks of life and meeting people from everywhere and seeing how this can help them be more of who they are.
Yeah, so I've always been interested in human development. And that, first day at kindergarten, I was like, I want to be a teacher. This is amazing. I love teaching. And I would just always work my way up the grades. Like, okay, if I'm in 3rd grade, I would like to teach 2nd grade. And if I'm in high school, I want to teach the middle schoolers. But then I would have experiences of like, in college, I was going to be a family consumer science teacher. I was going to teach sewing. And I was like, I don't think I actually want to teach middle schoolers how not to run their fingers into the sewing machine. I'd really like to now teach college, of course. And so, you can teach college? You can be a professor? I didn't even know that existed until I was immersed in it. And then I kept following that path and studying development, studying growing up and what it means to reflect back on the past, what it means for our present, where we're headed in the future. I love all of it. I never get tired of talking about it.
Yes, my path started 18 years ago when my husband died very suddenly, just after our daughter was born. And that, as you can imagine, sent me into a huge, it was a whirlwind of emotions. And I struggled to come to terms with my grief around that and about becoming a single person again, and also a single parent. And it was my, I suppose, because I was struggling with that, and it took me quite a while to even figure out which way was up. Sure. But I decided to study NLP.
Okay.
As a way to change my path in life, to learn new skills, and to also mainly to learn more about myself.
Yes, so I take them through a self-discovery process, and individually. I've done a little testing at the beginning of the year, and when I work with couples together to find out what their personality type preferences are, there is again a temptation to say, oh no, but you were doing this, oh no, but you were doing that. So we're typing each partner individually. And then I put the profiles together where I compare the information side by side around personality type, around relationship topics like communication, decision making, time management, the things that basically cause friction in my house. So I put that in the report because I figure if we're going through it, probably other people are as well.
Yeah.
And then we have a session where we come together and the 3 of us discuss. So what does it look like in your relationship? This is what the theory says. Does it apply? Does it not apply? Because that's the other thing. Not, 8 billion people, only 16 types. You're not going to 100% of the time agree with 100% of what your pattern, theoretically presents.
Yeah.
So it's a very much 1-on-2, then, debrief session. Over a couple of hours. And then if the couples decide to go forward, if they want some coaching around some of the issues, then we can do that.
They'll come with a certain struggle, something that they know they are wanting to get to. And I'll ask them, so what happened in your past? So what was it? Was there a moment? Was there a time? that you remember where that thing happened, and there will be a nugget, there will be a time, a memory situation. So what I do with NLP is to take them back to that situation using their imagination, their memory, asking them what exactly happened, who was there, and how that made them feel. And what I do with the NLP is to enable them to have an experience of what they would have needed at that time. Part of my work is teaching people that it's okay to be vulnerable, that we often feel that we have to put on some kind of mask to be professional, or to be something that we think that we should be in order to fit in. And once that's part of the work that I do with people, is teaching them that it's okay to be who they are. And I think there's layers, a lot of us put on layers and layers of protection, and we learn how to be something that we think we ought to be in order to fit in and to function.
When accomplishments would feel hollow. So at about the same time, next to each other, I had the message from the president that I was earning tenure. It was official. And I was certifying with the life coach school as a certified life coach.
Oh, at the same time. Interesting.
They happened like within a couple months of each other. And one felt like hollow, kind of like, okay, great, bittersweet in a lot one. Like, yeah, I got a gold star.
Yeah,
another one. Is that what I wanted? But certifying with the life coach school, like, didn't make any logical sense why I was doing it. Or, people still think it's a little crazy. But to me, it was like, I did it. I love this. It felt like love and joy and something I wanted. And you get a gold star at the end of that too.
Yeah.
Your certification, but it wasn't like, oh, and I needed the external validation from it. I know that this was for me.
Is that we are so complex, and specifically in the world of type, I see it. Obviously, there are lots of memes, lots of people talking about it, and self-awareness is a wonderful thing, and a little bit goes a long way. But the first thing that we learned in the Myers-Briggs certification actually is, with knowledge comes responsibility. So there is, it's easy to get carried away and to do a lot of damage. So what we don't want to do is be reductionist and be limiting in any way. My die in the ditch belief is that I understand our brain likes things easy. I understand we live in a time right now where social media is all about reducing it to 15-second TikToks. But I think we're doing ourselves a disservice if we're not actually sitting down with the person that we have in front of us and diving a little deeper and giving people the opportunity to talk a little more about what it is that lights them up and why it lights them up.
I talk about it as climbing your own ladder, following your own path, not what everybody else wants for you, because I spent decades just doing what everybody else told me to do because it seemed like a really good idea. That was part of the developing the expertise example of, oh, right. So, I mean, the other side to that story was people also said, you should go for a PhD. And I was like, that sounds like a good idea because somebody told me. And, oh, wait a minute, what does this mean? And if I keep following the traditional path, I mean, I lived the traditional path in my career. And then to reach the end of that, right, to have tenure and to be looking back like, wait a minute, did I make this up? Was this what I wanted? Maybe. In some ways, yes. In some ways, no. But let's make sure moving forward, I'm always doing exactly what I want.